guys, I'm Adam Wilborn from WhatCulture.
And I'm Andy Murray from WhatCulture.
And don't forget, you can get the news as a podcast if you're out and about by searching for WhatCulture Wrestling on either iTunes, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts from. But coming up today, huge news of the blockbuster trade between Raw and SmackDown.
The real reason these three top stars weren't involved in the WWE Draft.
Why did WWE hate Luke Harper?
Are New Japan finally about to announce a women's division?
And Christmas, just like me, comes early for the WWE Superstars. This is the news.
And to kick things off, it's the biggest story of the day, the one we could not ignore, the one we will be diving into deeply on a podcast later on. I, of course, am talking about the big headline: Eric Bischoff has been fired.
I'm sacked.
And more unemployed than ever. That doesn't fit into the song whatsoever, but Bischoff is gone. He is no longer WWE SmackDown Executive Director. He has not been given another role in the company. He has not been moved around. He is gone. So this WWE broke this last night, actually. First of all, they announced that Bruce Prichard had come in. He'd taken the Executive Director role. No word on Bischoff in that initial statement, but it soon came out. They released a smaller statement later on saying Eric Bischoff is no longer with the company. So Bischoff has reacted to this on Twitter. He quote tweeted the Prichard story saying, "Bruce is a great producer, good friend, and I am certain he is going to thrive in his position. He's going to be working with a great team of the most dedicated and hardworking people I have had the pleasure of working with and getting to know." Very classy there from Eazy-E. PW Insider have come out with a few details on the situation. They say that while the sacking itself came out of nowhere, those close to the situation certainly didn't see it as something out of the blue. And Bischoff was apparently told that he was getting binned after a creative meeting in Stamford on Tuesday. And on top of this, he probably doesn't have that 90-day no-compete clause because he wasn't a televised talent.
I'm not that surprised by all this.
I'm not surprised at all.
I mean, we all thought that when Bischoff was hired, this isn't going to last long before he's sort of either gotten rid of or made a scapegoat or whatever. And if you've heard any reports from the likes of Brian Alvarez, he has kind of been usurped as executive director by Bruce Prichard a long time before this. A lot of people reporting, sources in WWE basically saying that he was hard to get a hold of, that he was kind of
not really doing a whole lot.
Exactly. So it's not a great shock, and it's probably best for all involved. Although I do feel a little bit sorry because didn't Bischoff move for this?
Yeah, he did like a little video or something of him and his dog driving a car to Connecticut and so forth. But you know, he probably got a pretty hefty severance package. It's Eazy-E. He probably earned enough money to just live for the rest of his life, do his little podcast with Conrad and so forth. Or is it Conrad? Actually, there's a shocking lack of knowledge there.
You're right with Conrad.
But yeah, good stuff. See you later, Eric Bischoff. In you come, Bruce. Be interesting to see if Bruce.
I was going to say, will this change a great deal on SmackDown? Do you think, considering we've mentioned that Bruce is already kind of in that role anyway?
Yeah, it's hard, kind of hard to tell because of what you just said, and also Bischoff apparently had minimum creative direction on the show itself. He was brought in to handle other things, whereas Prichard has been on the creative team since February, I think it was he was brought in. So he'll obviously have more of an influence now, reporting directly to Vince and so forth and all that stuff. I hope so, man. Like, I just like different things, and you know, WWE programming, there's a lot of changes at the moment. There's a lot going on with the new TV deal, the new rosters, all this other stuff. It would still be cool to see someone like Bruce come in, shake things up a little.
Yes, best of luck to Bruce. Hope SmackDown improves, and what is it? Best of luck with your future endeavours, Eric. Let's move on, though, and continue, though, talking about SmackDown, because the inaugural episode of WWE Backstage was on FS1 last night. Triple H made an appearance on it and talked about the blockbuster trade that has been advertised in and around the WWE Draft. It's not that blockbuster, I'll be honest. Former women's tag team champions Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross have been sent to SmackDown. What does Raw get back in exchange? I hear you ask. Is it The Fiend? Is it another superstar? Future draft picks considerations. Oh, just a load of bollocks then.
Yeah, that sounds like something they can conveniently forget about in the next draft, doesn't it? They're not going to sit there a year from now and go, oh yeah, we've got these considerations from that trade where we sent Nikki and Alexa to SmackDown. It's a weird little thing. However, it does address a pretty big problem. SmackDown's women's division was looking very short-handed.
Yeah, Bayley, Carmella, Sasha Banks, Lacey Evans, and Tamina by my count.
I mean, nobody's meaner, but it's really threadbare. So it's good to see another couple of quality wrestlers come in, another quality act. very much into their dynamic, very much into the will they, won't they split, are they friends, who the hell knows. It's good, solid stuff. I think they're a good, solid team. I have no problems with the move itself. It's just a little bit weird. The execution of it is a little bit weird, particularly when you consider that these two wrestlers were drafted separately on SmackDown last week and have now been... Nothing makes sense.
No, of course.
Let's stop, you know, what we need to do. We need to stop applying logic to a company that doesn't understand logic.
Indeed, and for those of you out there who, I suppose I would have been part of this group a few months ago, speculating that, well, does this future draft pick considerations maybe mean they're going to get Bray Wyatt back on Raw or really shake up the title picture? No, because WWE never gives us anything that we like.
Speaking of not giving us things that we like, where the hell are the Usos? They've not been on TV in a couple of months. Well, they were taken off TV shortly after the DUI arrest, of course, and a lot to go with that. Naomi, she has been off television as well. She's had some personal problems, believe the death of a loved one hit her pretty badly. She's also had some health scares, so they've all three of them, closely affiliated, of course, have been off TV. Now, there was a bit of talk that the Usos in particular might return as part of the draft. That didn't come to pass. They went undrafted, and so did Naomi. Now, Big Dave Meltzer has a special WWE news update up on Figure 4 Online today, and he basically says that the reason these people weren't in the draft and haven't had a home, haven't found Raw or SmackDown, is because creative have nothing for them. They are yet to make a decision on when they'll come back. They've no idea what brand to put them on. They just don't know what they're doing with them, and that's a real shame because all three are really talented, really fun to watch, and it kind of sucks that they've been lumped in with the undrafted wrestlers.
Yeah, it's a real shame, like you say, that they've not been drafted, but I do understand that you prioritise people you do have storylines for in terms of drafting, although quite what they've got planned for Titus O'Neil, I don't know. But anyway, I'm excited for those guys to return. I feel like any of them you could bring back. You could automatically drop the Usos into some sort of title picture. Naomi comes back and is a breath of fresh air in a fairly stagnant women's division outside of the Four Horsewomen, to be perfectly honest. So it's probably for the best that they haven't just been brought back for the sake of being brought back, but hopefully, creative, there's enough of you, and you're clearly not doing a lot of stuff with the Seth Rollins storyline, so get something for them soon.
Yeah, you got 5 hours of TV to fill. How hard can it be to find something for these people, right?
Yes, let's move on though and talk about Luke Harper and Eric Rowan, because it looks like WWE are done with those two as a tag team. This is according to Dave Meltzer in a special WWE news update on Figure 4 Online. It claimed that Rowan and Harper, quote, have been broken up as an act. Now, of course, Harper went undrafted in the 2019 draft, having been brought back for that exciting feud with him and Rowan and Roman Reigns and Daniel Bryan and what have you. I thought it was a phenomenally exciting return, and whether or not they just don't have anything planned for him, whether or not it was just a one and done, or whether Luke Harper's shenanigans on social media have maybe put pay to any pushes that they had to come in.
This is mental, this, isn't it? Because even though Luke wasn't drafted, because he's a free agent, he can show up anywhere. So him not being drafted didn't mean that the act was over necessarily, because he could have just gone to Raw and reunited with Rowan as a free agent. But this is just kind of weird. Why are you bringing a guy back on Clash of Champions and having him work this feud and wrestle this match at Hell in a Cell, and then you're just splitting them up like a month later? It's weird. It's really, really weird. Like, if you didn't want to do anything with Luke Harper long term, you know that the guy wants out of the company, you know he probably isn't going to sign a new deal, and you know that he likes to fanny around a little bit on social media, which he has done since he was brought back to TV. I told myself I was coming into this shoot, after the last couple of days, I'm not going to get upset. We're not going to give the editor a reason to zoom in on your face while you
some chamomile tea this morning.
while you set the internet ablaze and pop the entire comment section. Love it, man. God, there's money in this. Let's market it.
It's not. Well, yeah.
Let's get
I would
really
do
cynical.
if it wasn't just real life.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a reflection of the conversations we've been having before we hit the cameras. But this is really nonsense. I hate it. Let
him do what he wants to do. Let wrestlers wrestle, for God's sake.
Let Luke be Luke, man.
Yeah, it's Wednesday. You know what that means.
Yeah, that means we're on to our next story, I believe. New Japan Pro Wrestling. This week there have been all kinds of stories, all kinds of speculation. Dave came out earlier in the week, Dave Meltzer, saying that a big story regarding Japanese wrestling will be breaking later in the week. Huge, potentially game-changing announcement. This led to immediate speculation of NXT Japan. There was talk of WWE linking up with Dragon Gate was one of the promotions mentioned. But now, there is huge speculation doing the rounds on social media, on Reddit, everywhere on the internet, and I stress This is speculation, it's a rumor, it's just a thing that we got to talk about because it's gaining serious traction and it's potentially a big story if it does come to pass. So the talk is, and again, speculation, that Bushiroad, which is the parent company of New Japan Pro Wrestling, may have purchased World Wonder Ring Stardom, which is the biggest women's wrestling promotion, the biggest Joshi promotion in Japan, and that they will either look to incorporate Stardom as their own women's division in New Japan, or they'll keep Stardom going under their umbrella because Bushiroad want to get into the women's wrestling business. Now, this is such a crazy topic. It's one that gets social media all kinds of tangled up. People arguing, butting heads, no one agrees with anyone else. It's a tough topic because there's all kinds of issues in play regarding women's wrestling in Japan. Traditionally, it's kind of split off into separate promotions. This is all women, this is all men, and so forth. But at the same time, there are a lot of people who feel that New Japan, because they're the second or third biggest promotion in the world, should have a women's division.
Yes.
But then there are all kinds of cultural considerations in Japan to consider as well. And as someone who is far from an expert on those, I can't sit here and say if I think that New Japan potentially buying Stardom and all this is a good thing, or if I think it's a bad thing. I think it's one we should leave for the experts.
Yes, exactly, which is you in the comment section. So let us know your thoughts down there.
And Reddit, they're always experts.
Yes. Right, let's move on to our final news story of the day. And good news for WWE Superstars for once. Christmas has come early for them with the news that Raw, SmackDown and NXT rosters will not have to work over 2019's festive season, which is great news. This came from WrestleVote, although, no, we're not going to do a pinch because it's festive.
That's good news.
It's just nice news, this. They were told that the episode of Raw currently scheduled for the 23rd of December will be taped on the 17th of December, and all wrestlers are currently scheduled for time off between the 22nd and the 26th of December. There won't be a live NXT on the USA Network on Christmas Day either. Great news, this.
Yeah, you know what they've done there?
Nice.
They've gone on the WWE.com schedule page and just kind of passed it off as a scoop, but at the same time, it's nice they're getting this time off. It was 2017, we had those live Raws and SmackDown on Christmas Day, Boxing Day, New Year's Day. Harsh as hell. Good. Nice one, WWE. Be kind to your employees, and they will be kind to you.
I'm really excited for Christmas already. Now I've read that story.
Can't wait, man. I've already booked my time off.
Oh.
2.5 weeks, baby.
WhatCulture Christmas party.
Oh, no.
Live stream.
No, we can't do that. We'll all be
We'll
dead.
all be fired, is what we will
And
be.
cancelled.
Right, let's move on to your Twitter questions at WhatCulture WWE.
And hand flip.
Yeah, oh God. Let's move on to your first question from El Tavo Ruiz, who says, now that SmackDown took Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross, and Nikki Cross, do you think Raw will take The Fiend back and somehow save his character? And if not The Fiend, who should they pick?
Yeah, I think The Fiend is the most logical choice because he's fighting for the Universal title, and really, are you just going to have the guy lose again at Crown Jewel or have a no contest or whatever?
Don't you dare. Don't you dare.
It's okay. Don't need the Zoom. Don't need the Zoom. I think it makes the most sense, and I do think that is what they will do with this future draft considerations. Yes, absolutely.
Right, let's move on to the second question today from a lady who, for me, is absolutely wonderful. Joining me in the Broken Universe, Broken Angela Dawn.
I thought it was going to be Rebby Hardy.
How long will it be before WWE begins airing specials on the network dedicated to their dark matches?
Oh man, yeah, I could totally see them doing that because AEW have done it to pretty good effect so far. Last night's dark with Kenny Omega versus Joey Janela was absolutely incredible. What a ridiculous match, a pay-per-view caliber plunder brawl put on a free YouTube show. Yes, if they are serious about countering AEW, they may well do that. However, the average WWE house show match, unless you're there in the building, is about as interesting as a jug of piss. So, tough one.
And also, you cannot show the dark matches showing Seth Rollins because he gets booed out of the building, as we've shown on numerous news recently. Final question today comes from David S. Ponkins. Nice Halloween name on Twitter there. David says, is there anyone in WWE breathing a bigger sigh of relief right now than Finn Balor?
Oh, yeah, he's kind of lucked out, hasn't he? Oh, man. After watching how it's gone down on Raw and SmackDown, he must be feeling like the luckiest man. And he's going to be really creatively fulfilled down in NXT. He's going to be able to have all these cool matches. And meanwhile, on Raw, Lana's getting felt up by Bobo Lashley, and Seth Rollins is, burning it down in the Firefly Funhouse.
Oh, don't. I've got that felt a twitch then, just like a... Right, let's move on and celebrate as part of our own, finally, an 8-year anniversary.
I know what this is.
8 years ago? Doesn't time fly? 8 years to the day right now since Hulk Hogan tweeted, "Good night, Hulkamaniacs and jabroni marks. Without a life that don't know it'll work when you work a work and work yourself into a shoot, marks."
Work a work and shooting working brother. He's something else. It's an all-time great wrestling tweet, that really is.
It's like he's had that sort of speech-to-text function on and was just trying to cut a promo.
Yeah. Good night, jabroni marks.
Work and shoot, brother. It's a good job he didn't say some of the other things he's been recorded saying in the past.
Big dumb racist.
Anyway, right, let us know your thoughts on that and all of today's news stories in the comment section below. Allegedly. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And subscribe to What Culture Wrestling on either iTunes, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts from for daily wrestling podcasts. Myself, Andy Murray, and Michael Sidgwick will be dissecting the whole Eric Bischoff situation later on there. Plus, you can send us Twitter questions at WhatCulture WWE. Watch there, follow both of us. You can follow him at
Andy H. Murray. The H stands for happy that we didn't have to talk about WWE TV today.
Oh, thank God. You can follow me at Adam Wilborn. You can follow us all at WhatCulture WWE. My thanks to Andy Murray. Thank you for watching, and we will see you soon.
Brother.